had pulled off into a parking lot, but her car was running, foot on the brake, and she died. Losing Courtney in our family was a major tragedy.
We are having the pleasure of speaking with Carolyn Connolly today, who is a dynamo in the business world. And I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks. Can we start personal?
Of course.
What gave you a lot of fulfillment coming up?
It's so interesting. My mother was certainly the matriarch of the family, and a big component in even all of the grandchildren in the family and their lives. And when George Bush passed, my niece Sarah said that she felt that it was such a parallel to our family because Barbara Bush reminded her of my mother, and with my dad being in politics and having the closeness and the family first and so many of the same values. And it was really, it brought my dad, it choked him up when we were talking with him about it. And it is true that we really that was always the number one focus, was to keep that family tie strong and stay close with everyone.
That's really nice. So 27, your niece passes away unexpectedly.
Yeah.
What happened?
So she was driving her car. She was actually going home from work to meet her husband for lunch. She was at Darden School of Business in Charlottesville at UVA. And they said with the type of sudden cardiac arrest that she experienced, you might feel dizzy. And so she had pulled off into a parking lot, but her car was running, foot on the brake, and she died. And from that point, I got very involved in Starting Hearts, which is a nonprofit founded by a woman who also had a sudden cardiac arrest at age 27, but she was witnessed and therefore was able to be saved with the use of a defibrillator. And we help people learn about the use of defibrillators. But losing Courtney in our family was a major tragedy.
Do they know what causes this?
Well, she did have mitral valvular disease. However, you wouldn't know that if you didn't have an echocardiogram. And most people would never have an echocardiogram unless they had some symptom.
Of course.
And so it's a catch-22. Everyone should go out and get their, whether you have to pay for it or whether you get your insurance to cover it.
Everybody certainly has very challenging times throughout their lives. And the ones that can be vulnerable about that because they do have that support system and they can be vulnerable, that is such a beautiful piece. One of the pieces that I love about Arras and the opportunities that it creates for women is it helps create those communication paths and those tribes of women that really want to support each other. And so it's really cool to see, women that already have that and those examples that they set for so many other women. So
it's like I think they call it the MAWA in the blue zones, where you have your kind of three supports that are the people that are with you all the time. And,
awesome.
And, hang by your side.
It's so great. Mm-hmm. You get into business and you are crushing it and you're going along, and start talking a little bit about your success in business and then what happened.
So I found myself in an incredible place. And we all know sometimes it's about timing, sometimes it's about the company, sometimes it's about your own success. But this all culminated together, and I rose to the top, and it was an awesome place to be, and I had no doubts. I was 100%, belief was 110%, and I knew I was going places. And with one day's time, the company went into bankruptcy, and paycheck stops, and it was pretty disastrous when you bring those finances and the lifestyle that matches the income, and then all of a sudden it stops. It can put you into a real turnaround, and very, very difficult to kind of bounce back. And
now you're working on a worldwide platform, working on so many projects between Asia and the United States and all different actually parts of the world. Share what some of that success has looked like for you.
So now I feel like I have worked my whole career to get to the pinnacle of what I'm doing right now, which I've considered myself a super connector. I've always networked with people. I always like to connect people. I've even made 7 marriages, but that's not what my intention. But by doing what we're doing and introducing interested parties, connecting interested parties all around the globe, I do feel that I'm finally using all of my talents in one role, and I am loving every minute. My confidence was built from having so much love and so much energy given to me and provided for me through my grandparents, through my mother. My mother was my biggest cheerleader. When she left, it took me a long time to realize how much I missed that support. But I feel like when I can build the team and I can bring people together, and I am a firm believer that teamwork makes the dream work, and you can do so much more together than you can separately. And I know that Arras stands for that, and I know that you pride yourself on building those teams.
So as a businesswoman, what are 3 pieces of advice that you could give to somebody who really wants to execute their career at a high level?
Well, patience is certainly a virtue, and it comes so much when you want something. You have to be able to wait for it, and you have to know what it takes to get it. But I also think that finding the people that can help you. There's so many ways that we can be helped, whether it is a coach or a mentor or a visionary that you need to follow that lead, but accept the help and be willing to ask for the help and reach out for it. And on top of that is knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and playing on your strengths, but finding those that can help you with the weaknesses that provide that gap. Because that's such a part of the teamwork, again, is just knowing what your role is and knowing where you can shine and thrive, and letting other people help you on those other areas where you need it.